Have you ever stood in the kind of silence that doesn't feel peaceful, but unbearable? The kind where time slows, your heart hammers, and you feel as though life itself has cornered you? That silence doesn't soothe, it dismantles. It isn't quiet, it's a roar you can't escape. For most of us, silence feels threatening when it exposes truths we don't want to face. Maybe it's the silence after betrayal, when someone you trusted disappears. Maybe it's the silence of a room once filled with laughter, now echoing with absence. Or maybe it's the silence within you, when all the excuses, all the self deception fall away, and what's left is raw, unfiltered reality. That kind of silence breaks you. But within that break lies the seed of transformation. Because in the very moment you stop fighting, stop explaining, stop chasing, something dies, yes, but something far stronger is born. It's not resignation. It's not bitterness, it's clarity. The truth is this: the most dangerous intelligence is not loud. It doesn't argue, it doesn't announce itself, it simply sees clearly, ruthlessly. And once you've seen, you cannot unsee. Today, I want to take you on a journey through that transformation, a journey from fragility to silent strength, from reactivity to mastery, from living as prey to walking as a predator, not of others, but of illusion, of lies, of self-deception. This is the path Marcus Aurelius walked. It is the path every person who refuses to remain blind must eventually walk. And if you truly understand it, not just in your mind, but in your bones, you will become dangerously smart. 1. Words lie, patterns don't. We live in a world drunk on words. Politicians, lovers, friends, enemies, they all understand the power of language, but words are cheap. They are costumes people wear to appear as something they are not. You've likely experienced it. Someone promises loyalty, swears they'll change, assures you of their love, and maybe for a while you believe them. After all, the human heart wants stories, not spreadsheets. We want to believe in declarations more than in data. But here's the hard truth. Words lie, patterns don't. If someone tells you they value you but repeatedly dismiss your needs, the pattern is truth. If they insist they've changed but keep repeating the same betrayals, the pattern is truth. If they shower you with apologies but never alter their behavior, the pattern is truth. Intelligence begins here, in recognizing that the story someone tells you and the story their life reveals are often two very different things. One is fiction, the other is evidence. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If someone is able to show me I am mistaken, I will gladly change, for I seek the truth." Notice, he didn't say he sought convincing words. He sought proof. He sought reality. When you stop chasing words and start studying patterns, manipulation loses its grip. You no longer get pulled into endless cycles of apologies and empty promises. Instead, you become a quiet observer, a student of consistency. And when the evidence is clear, you act, not with rage, but with certainty. That certainty is the first step toward dangerous intelligence. 2. The power of the pause. Most people are slaves to their impulses. Someone insults them and they explode. Someone betrays them and they spiral. Someone criticizes them and they crumble. Their emotions are like wild horses, dragging them wherever the moment dictates. But the dangerous ones, the truly intelligent, master the pause. Between stimulus and response lies a gap. It might be just a second, but within that second lives the power to change everything. That pause allows you to observe, to breathe, to decide whether this moment deserves your reaction or your silence. When someone screams at you and you do not respond, the silence unnerves them. When chaos erupts and you remain calm, people instinctively recognize a strength they cannot name. Your composure becomes a form of dominance. Marcus Aurelius warned, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it?" Most damage in life doesn't come from what others do. It comes from how recklessly we respond. I once sat in a meeting where I was unfairly attacked. My instinct was to fight back. Instead, I paused. I let the silence grow heavy. Then, with calm precision, I asked one question that dismantled the entire argument. That pause saved me from a mistake and turned the tide in my favor. The pause is not weakness, it is stored power. It is the intelligence to wait until the battlefield favors you. 3. Walking away without guilt. For much of life, walking away feels wrong. We are conditioned to explain ourselves, to apologize for boundaries, to prove that our absence is justified. But maturity teaches something different. You don't owe everyone access to you. Walking away is not betrayal, it is self-preservation. The truly strong don't storm out in rage or broadcast their exit for attention. They simply disappear. No speeches, no justification, no drama, just quiet absence. Marcus Aurelius put it bluntly, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. That means you don't mirror betrayal with betrayal. You don't repay cruelty with cruelty. You elevate. You walk away not to punish, but to free yourself. The paradox is that nothing unsettles manipulators more than silence. They thrive on reaction, on drama, on keeping you tangled in endless explanations. When you withdraw without giving them that satisfaction, you starve them of their power. In my own life, this was the hardest lesson. I used to cling, to over-explain, to beg people to understand my reasons. Now, when I walk in silence, no justification, no guilt, just peace. And that quiet exit, more than any speech, is what makes you untouchable. 4. Solitude as weapon. Most people fear solitude. They drown themselves in noise, scroll endlessly, surround themselves with people who don't nourish them, anything to avoid being alone with their own thoughts. But solitude, when embraced, is not emptiness. It is transformation. In solitude, illusions dissolve. The voices of others fade, and your own voice, often neglected, finally emerges. You begin to hear what you truly want, what you truly fear, what you must truly do. A person who is comfortable in solitude is terrifying. They cannot be bribed with attention or manipulated by loneliness. Their worth does not depend on constant validation. They carry a stillness that others instinctively respect or fear. Marcus Aurelius himself found wisdom in solitude. His meditations were not written for an audience. They were conversations with himself, private reminders to remain grounded, disciplined, unshaken. I've found my greatest clarity not in crowds, but in silence. Walking alone, journaling, sitting with discomfort until it transformed into insight. Solitude did not weaken me, it forged me. If you wish to be dangerously smart, learn to master solitude. It will sharpen you into someone who cannot be owned. 5. Emotional discipline over drama. Emotions are not enemies, they are signals, but uncontrolled emotions are weapons turned against yourself. How many people have destroyed relationships because they couldn't contain jealousy? How many have lost careers because they couldn't contain anger? How many have ruined opportunities because they couldn't contain fear? Dangerous intelligence isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering them, to feel anger but not let it control you, to feel fear but still move forward, to feel sadness but not drown in it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Drama thrives where discipline is absent. Manipulators provoke you not to hurt you, but to extract reaction. Every outburst is fuel for their control. But when you respond with measured calm, when you choose words with precision, or choose silence altogether, you become ungovernable. Emotional discipline is the difference between being played like a puppet and holding the strings yourself. 6. Detachment from outcomes. Attachment is the root of suffering. We cling to people, to recognition, to outcomes we cannot control. And when they slip through our hands, as they always do, we collapse. The dangerous ones learn detachment, not cold indifference, but a recognition that nothing external defines them. If love comes, they cherish it. If success comes, they enjoy it. But if it vanishes, they remain whole. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." That is the essence of Stoic strength, to engage fully but not dependently. When you detach, you stop bargaining with life. You stop begging people to stay who are already leaving. You stop sacrificing your peace for recognition that never comes. You move through life anchored, not to outcomes, but to principles. And that detachment makes you terrifying to those who seek to control you. Because control relies on your dependence. When you no longer need what they offer, they no longer hold power. Number 7, control of the mind. Your mind is a battlefield. Most lose the war before it begins. They let fear dictate choices, doubt erode confidence, memories replay like curses. But mastery begins when you realize you may not control circumstances, but you control interpretation. An insult can be taken as devastation or as nothing. Failure can be taken as humiliation or as instruction. Pain can be seen as punishment or as preparation. Marcus Aurelius trained his mind relentlessly, reminding himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. This isn't denial, it's sovereignty. When you control your mind, no one can imprison you. They may restrict your body, but never your perception. They may take your possessions, but not your perspective. That control is the ultimate dangerous intelligence. To be free even in chains, to be powerful even in weakness, to be calm even in chaos. 8. Transforming pain into clarity. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the sculptor. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every failure contains lessons. Most people flee from pain, numb it, deny it, but the intelligent lean into it. They study it. They ask, what is this pain teaching me? Pain reveals your blind spots. Pain shows you where you place trust too easily. Pain exposes illusions you clung to. And in that exposure, pain clarifies. Marcus Aurelius faced relentless hardship, war, betrayal, plague, yet he saw all of it as training, as sharpening, as refinement. I've learned the same. My deepest wounds, once studied, became my sharpest insights. They showed me not just who others were, but who I was and who I had to become. When you stop running from pain and begin transforming it into wisdom, you step into dangerous intelligence. 9. Silence is the final weapon. Silence unnerves people. It denies them the script they expect. When someone insults you and you remain silent, you rob them of victory. When someone demands explanation and you withhold it, you reclaim your energy. When chaos surrounds you and you sit in stillness, you display a power words could never convey. Marcus Aurelius often wrote in silence, reflected in silence, endured in silence. His power was not in speeches, but in stillness. Silence is not emptiness, it is strategy. It is the refusal to dance to another's tune. It is the invisible armor that shields your energy. To become dangerously smart, learn to wield silence not as absence, but as presence. 10. I have become dangerously smart. There comes a moment when you realize you are no longer who you once were. You don't chase explanations anymore. You don't beg for clarity. You don't tremble at silence. Instead, you embody it. You are not easily read. You are not easily provoked. You are not easily controlled. This is not arrogance. It is maturity. It is the inevitable result of pain refined into wisdom, solitude transformed into strength, silence turned into strategy. To be dangerously smart is not to dominate others, but to liberate yourself. It is to live without illusions, to move without permission, to see without deception. It is to walk through life calm, grounded, untouchable. The silent warrior's path. The world worships noise, but the strongest walk in silence. Dangerously smart is not a title you claim, it is a state you embody. It is the union of discipline, detachment, clarity, and stillness. Marcus Aurelius showed the way, not with grand speeches, but with quiet reflections. He proved that power does not always roar. Sometimes it whispers, sometimes it waits, sometimes it says nothing at all, and so must you. Be the one who sees patterns, not promises. Be the one who pauses when others explode. Be the one who walks away without guilt, who thrives in solitude, who transforms pain into wisdom. Because when you become that person, you no longer need to prove anything. You no longer need to announce your strength. You will have become dangerously smart, and the world will feel it without you saying a word.